Hi, everyone. This is Elizabeth, and we have Mary here. We're lawyers at Law Manguji. And today we wanted to have a little bit of a discussion to tell you about some of the brand new announcements that the minister had made yesterday about students. Um,
Mhm.
so Mary, so tell us, what are some of these announcements about?
So the minister has made some big changes to the programs for international students. The first and one of the biggest announcements is that the amount of funds that you need to have to apply for a study permit in Canada have increased. So they've announced that you need to have at least 75% of the low income cutoff, which for a single applicant in 2024 will mean 20,635 Canadian dollars. On top of that, you also need to show you have liquid funds for the entire tuition for first year, as well as your travel expenses. So that's a significant increase from what we had seen in the past, and it's going to have big implications if you're interested in coming to Canada or if you're already here and you're wanting to apply for an extension of your study permit.
Yeah, that's such a huge change because before what the government had stated was 10,000. But I think with most of our clients, we kind of said, okay, let's sort of figure out, what the living expenses might be and present a budget because that's what makes sense for officers. But now just the minimum amount of what they require has more than doubled what was
Absolutely.
before.
And it's going to be different too if you have family members that are joining you, for example. And it's also going to be changing every year as they update that LICO amount. So it's something to definitely keep your eye on when you're planning to come and study in Canada to make sure you're going to have those funds.
Right. And like you said, it's not just when you're applying in the beginning. When you apply to extend your study permit, the officers may also need to look at that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Um, and what else are they saying?
So, for those of you, for people out there who are already here in Canada studying, there's some good news regarding working here in Canada. So, if you already hold a study permit or you applied for a study permit before December 7th, 2023, they've announced that you're now allowed to work more than 20 hours off of campus. So, that's going to be continuing until April 30th, 2024, at which point we're not sure they might announce another extension, they might change the program. But it's a great opportunity for people who already are holding a study permit or already have applied for a study permit to get some extra hours working and not have to deal with that 20-hour cutoff limit that was there before.
Mm-hmm. So before the old rule was people had to have held a study permit before October 7th, I believe, right? Of last year or applied for a study permit. So now that expands for the next semester, basically. Those people who would have gotten their study permit or who would have applied for their study permit after that October 7th, 2022 date.
Hmm.
That's great. That's great. But it's only so far until the end of next semester. So just one semester for these students.
Yeah.
All right.
It
Yeah.
does look like they've announced they might be making some more changes in that regard in the new year, but for now, this is what we're working with, and we'll have to see what changes 2024 brings.
Mm-hmm. And anything else?
Yes, so there's also another announcement regarding the postgraduate work permit public policies that we've been seeing for the last few years since 2020 have been, they've announced that they're no longer going to be extending them into 2024. So for the last few years, we've seen an 18-month extension available for some postgrad work permit holders. And they've basically said December 31st, 2023 will be the end of those extensions. They're not going to be continuing next year. So anybody that might qualify to extend is going to want to make sure they get that application in before the 31st of this month of December 2023. And yeah, it's a big announcement as well for what people are planning with their work permits.
Yeah. And they would have had to have their work permits expire by end of this year in order to qualify for that extension. It's not going to be in place for next year. I think we've been telling our clients this, warning people because that's what we anticipated. So that's what they're doing. So a lot of changes coming up next year and probably more. The government is looking to decrease numbers for international students. It sounds kind of like they're going to put it a lot of it on the schools, isn't it?
Because they have that new rule about schools verifying acceptance letters as of December 1st of this year. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot to do with the designated learning institutions.
Right. And so it could be, I mean, stay tuned, it could be that the schools may be accepting less students as well. So yeah, lots coming up. Stay tuned. You can sign up for more newsletters on our website if you don't already have them. And we're going to be launching our new social media with TikTok and Instagram next year as well. So stay tuned. Have a happy holiday, everyone. Take care.